I'm Daniel, 3D design and implementation specialist at CLO in Munich. And we will start with today's skill up session on creating a virtual showroom in CLO. And we will use the Everywear plugin a little bit. Hopefully you have it. If you don't have it, you can download it from Connect from our website, and it's up here. But normally you have to register for it. There will also be in the chat, there will also be questions that will come up during the whole session. If you see them, you can, or it would be nice if you answer them. It's a few questions on this skill up or for the next one. But yeah, okay. So I am inside our project folder, the one that I shared with you, that you hopefully downloaded. And I put this here on my local drive, on my desktop in this case, so I can work with it. We have a few folders here that I prepared beforehand. We have some avatars, we have some garments, renderings that I prepared in the room. So the first thing I want you to look at, don't follow me on this one, is this. I named this especially warning. This is a big file. And I can open it up and share you what's inside. But I would recommend that you only open this up if you have a powerful computer. Some people cannot see my screen. Okay, then let me reshare my screen. Okay. Yeah, but can you see my desktop? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I need to minimize the window. That's why I cannot see what you're writing. That's a bit pity. I only have one screen at the moment. So I open up the warning big project. And this is basically what we are trying to build here. I deactivated everything, so we have a little bit of better performance here. I can activate it again. And this is basically what we are trying to build today. So I built a whole room in CLO. It's all pattern pieces that I put together, and then I put all the garments inside. But the problem is that this file now is super heavy, and also only heavy computer or like super powerful computers can handle this anymore. So what I want you to show is, first of all, a good statistics setting kind of that we can take to see how big this file is. And this is up here in settings, then in display, environment, and here's a setting that is called show frame rate. So here comes up a little writing, and this is what we want to focus on. So the first one is a row of numbers is 1.4 million triangles. Tris is short for triangles. 750,000 verts is vertices. 448 patterns, 15 trims, sewings, and so on. The last one is 12 CPU cores. This is what the computer that I'm working with today is using. And then here we actually have the frame rates. So the frame rates is showing me the how big the frame rates are for my 3D window. So if I move around, you can see the numbers are changing. Hopefully you see it. It's not stuttering for you. But this is showing me how it's updating the 3D window. But the thing that I want to show you, especially here, is where we can see how big our project is. And this is 1.4 million triangles, as I said before, and this is quite big. So the bigger this is, because I added garments here that have a particle distance of 5, some like sunglasses here on the table that you can see. They even have a particle distance of 3 and so on. So this adds like more and more data. So it makes the quality better, but it adds more and more data. So the project becomes heavier and heavier. And this is something that we need to optimize. So that's why I wanted just to show you what is going on. So just build a room. Here's a it's basically like a pattern piece with a window from outside. So later, if we are rendering from inside, then we will not see that. And also this has a ceiling, a roof here on top, but I made it invisible. So here it is. Yeah, so everything is a pattern piece. I just built it. The walls, for example, they just have like additional rendering thickness of 600 in this case. And yeah, it's all like true to life size. So like the walls are like 3.5 meters tall and so on. But yeah, this is just an example. So because this file is so heavy, and if we would start the render here and we want to render out this image, what we will do later, this will take like super long. So I want to show you a few ways on how to optimize the scene. And we are doing this. I will close this. Now you can follow me. I will open up in the project folder room thing, I want to open up this project file that is called Showroom Optimized. Now I'll just quickly open it up. So this file is only the room without the garments. And I will show you, I optimized it before, but I will show you what I did here. So I deleted all the avatars, all the garments and so on. But I will show you what I did here. So here our changing room, the chairs, the plant. This is actually a mirror, even though you cannot see it at the moment. The shelves and so on. We will fill this now with the garments. But first of all, let's work on the room itself. So at the moment, the room, let me quickly format my background back so we can see a little bit better. I want to go in again, display environment, show frame rate. I can see that the room alone, now that I optimized it already beforehand, is 63,000. So it's a lot less already. And I will show you what I did with it. So for the walls, for example, they are just straight, right? So first of all, I want to come to the garment rendering style here in the 2D window, and I want to change this to show mesh. And now you can see already kind of what I did is I changed for all the square pieces, the particle distance super high. So for example, if I click on the wall here, you can see that the particle distance is set up to 500. And what it's doing, like, because it's just like a plane and it has nothing, it doesn't need any like folds and so on. I can set the particle distance super far up and it will still be, so the edges are super clear, nothing is like wonky or looks distorted or anything. So that's why we can do this. We can, of course, not do this with things like, for example, the stands here for the mannequins later, because this would distort the shape, the round shape of the objects. So yeah, that's what I did with these things. What I also did to optimize these garments, to make the size of it, the complete size of it smaller, is if I go on one of my pattern pieces, for example, again, this wall door side, and if I come to my property editor and I open up this mesh setting here, you can see that I changed the mesh type from triangle to quads. I can quickly show you what happens. So hopefully you can read it here. At the moment it says face count and vertex count. So like vertices and triangles, what I said before, 196 and 233. If I now change it back, just to show you to triangles, you can see it is a lot more, 600 and 336. So that's why we can change things to quads. So we have the same quality. I will mention something later, but yeah, we can save a lot of resource. The problem with the quads is that the quads are not really working so well with round shapes. That's why I only use this, or most of it, only for like square pieces and not for round shapes. Because you see it here, if I would update the particle distance for this round shape of the windows, for example, to 500, you can see that if I zoom into the windows, you can see that the windows actually become super edgy here so it's not round anymore, it becomes edgy. So this is the problem with the quads. The triangles are a little bit better for round shapes, the quads for square shapes. So here we have to be careful. I set it to quads, but I cannot put this up too much. Otherwise, I would lose my details here. So that's why I changed it to 200. We could even go lower because it's still a little bit, we still have a little bit of edges here. But the problem with the optimization and like lowering the particle distances and so on, we need to find a balance between like quality and optimization. So that is always like a little bit that you have to figure out in your projects. But yeah, this is basically what I did. So I updated the particle distance. I turned it super up to sometimes 500. For example, here with the closing rack inside, this is less. This is on only 20. But yeah, something that is reasonable and still looks good. And for the small parts, the smaller the parts get, the higher or lower, however you want to put it, the particle distance has to be. That's something that you cannot change, but you can see, I mean, it's still 68 vertices, face count, and so on. So that would be all fine. Yeah, so this is basically what I did. So I optimized it already for you. And I brought this down, I think, to 1/3 of the original triangle count. So I don't know, it was like 240,000 before, and I brought it down to 60,000. So that the whole file becomes a little bit lighter. What I now want to do is I want to optimize it even more because at the moment it's all pattern pieces. And actually, I don't want this to behave like pattern pieces anymore. I want to export this as an OBJ to save even more resources because OBJs are easier to handle than pattern pieces and particle distance and so on. So we kind of will bake the whole project of the room. And I will simply do this by coming up here to File, to Export, and then, oh, one thing. I purposely want to leave out the ceiling and export them separately. So we have to do it a little bit different. I will press Control A or Command A, depending on if you're working on Mac or Windows. And I will hold down Shift to deselect the ceiling. And now I want to come to File, Export, and then I want to say OBJ selected, because only the selected shapes I want to export. Then I need to find a folder. In our case, I already placed the folder. It's empty yet. In the project folder in a room, it's a folder called OBJ. And I will go inside, and then I will name my file. I will call it Showroom project. And then I can say save. And then this OBJ dialog box comes up, and this is what is important for us, because there we need to say what is happening. So we want to not select all patterns because we left out the ceiling, of course. But what is very important is we want to put this to thick because our walls are actually thick, not thin. And the rest we can basically leave. The scale is millimeter, and we can save the textures as absolute textures image file path. And then we can say, OK, wait for it to export. And then if we would go back to our folder here on my desktop, in my case, in room, make it bigger in OBJ, here is now our whole room with the textures. OK, and now we will do the same thing again, but only with the ceiling. So I will just select the ceiling. I will come to File, Export, OBJ selected. In the same folder, if you want, you can also save it somewhere else. I will call this showroom ceiling. And then say, okay, do the same thing again, turn to thick, even though it has, I think, no thickness at all. Let's just leave it there. It's always better. Then we can leave the rest and we can just say, okay. Now, if we go back to our folder, now I can see that here is an obj file, showroom ceiling.obj and showroom project.obj. Okay, that is already it for the room so far. I already built it for you, so you don't have to do anything and optimize it. The next thing I want to do before bringing the garments and the room together in one project, I want to open up another file. I will close this one, or maybe we can also leave it here. It's fine. In the project folder, I want to now go into the folder called garments. And here we have two files. So I packed for you. So we have all the single garments here inside. And I also made packs of garments that have like all the garments from the clothing rack, all the garments for the sunglasses display, and so on. But you don't have to do this. We want to work on this one before, and it's called M main outfit. And we can just drag and drop this inside of our previous project. And instead of like adding it to it, now we want to open this up and wait for it quickly to load. And now I will show you a way to optimize this garment that we can reduce the size of it. Let's see, where are my pattern pieces here? And still have a quite good quality. So our frame rate is still showing. So I can see that at the moment, I think the particle distance here was set to 5 when I created it. By the way, we are here at Glow Beach Club. So the room is like a surf shop or something like this. 381,000 triangles. So again, this is quite a lot. I mean, we have a lot of details here that we, of course, don't want to lose too much by the optimization methods. But yeah, I want to show you how I can easily reduce or optimize this garment with the Everywear tool. Depending on the version that you have, I'm working in the newest version. For us, it's 2024.1.142. There you can find the Everywhere plugin up here. If you go up to connect, then here it says Everywhere. If you have a lower version, for whatever reason, it might be that you have like a little puzzle piece or something here in the corner that should say Everywhere beta. So you can also exit it there. In my case, I have to go to connect and then to Everywhere. So this little window comes up. It's again called Everywhere beta. And here it now displayed us automatically kind of the same stats as here. The polygon count for the garment and for the avatar. For the avatar, we cannot change it, but for the garment, we can change it. So it says 381,000. And now I want to lower it down to a third of the size of it. So I will set this up to 100,000. Did I spell it correct? Yeah, 100,000 vertices, 100,000 triangles. And then I have to click on optimize. And it takes a while to compute. But in the end, now, if I look here after the process, it says 96,000 triangles. So it tries to reduce it below the number that I put. So I set 100,000 and it tries to be below that. So that's what it did. So it did it automatically for the whole garment. So if I now click on one of the pattern pieces, I can see that it automatically turned the particle distance to 10. If I click to the other pieces that might have been bigger or something here, I can see the particle distance was automatically set to 10.3. And here for the scuba leggings, 10.2. So yeah, so it reduced everything to come below the threshold kind of 100,000. And that is basically it. This is all what I'm doing. I mean, the Everywear plugin is also capable of like rigging if you wanted to export to games and so on. Yeah, also if we click here on the channel material, we can also pack our UVs here, and we can create material lists and upload to connect and then download again if you wanted to. But in our case, this is not really important. We are just using this to simply optimize our garment below a certain threshold. So I just turn in or put in the number, then I click optimize, and that's it. And then I can hit close, and that's already good to go. So for this, I want to save this now. So I will go to File, Save As Project. And yeah, it's okay. I will basically call it the same as before, M main outfit, but I will say underscore optimized. And then I can say save. Okay, so far so good. What I want to do with it is I want to display on the back, on the pedestal, I think it's called, on the back of the room, I want to display the same outfit also on a female avatar and on a kid's avatar. And I want to show you an easy way on how to do this, like without grading. It's not that accurate, of course, but it's an easy way to like auto fit the garment on a different avatar. So for this, you can come up here to your, oh, I think I have to delete my avatar. Right click, delete avatar. And then I want to come back to our project folder. And then I will double click on avatars. And here you can see the avatars that I use for this. In this case, I downloaded them from Connect. It's from our official CLO Connect page on Connect Marketplace. And I just downloaded it for you here inside, so you don't have to do this. So now I want to load in FV 2.1 mannequin. So this is the faceless mannequin that I was using here, but the male version. Now I want to load in the female version. Here she is. And now I want to quickly check something. It's not here. Okay, that's fine. Then I have to go without shoes. So when we have the avatar in and we have the male outfit, now I want to automatically fit the garment without going through the pose again, without like using the arrangement points again to put this here and like fit the pants again and so on. I quickly want to do this, and we can do this by coming down here in our 2D tools, and here it's called auto fitting. And we can quickly click on it. By the way, it's a good tip to keep the avatars in an A or T pose, because if the arms are too close, then this algorithm is not working so well. So it's it needs to be in an A or T pose. This is all fine. We don't want to keep the graphic size or texture size. We want to like shrink this down as well. So we can leave everything here and we can say, okay. Then it takes a while to compute. There we go. And now you can see that it automatically draped the garment not only on the female avatar, but also like in the pose that hasn't been there before. And it reduced the size. So you can see it here by these reference lines that automatically were created. It reduced also the size of the pattern pieces. So as I said before, it's not like grading. It's not really grading. This function was called before auto grading. Now it's called auto fitting because it's not really grading. It's just like reducing it by this algorithm and fits it as best as it can on the new avatar. But I think that's good enough for us. I will quickly right-click on the hand, and I want to say move all avatars and garments to ground because unfortunately I don't have in the library the flip-flops that I wanted to use. Sorry for that, but that's fine. So now she sits completely on the ground. I move around. But what I can do is I can also bring her arms down. If I go into my library, I open this up with the letter Y, by the way. Then we go to avatar, to female V2, to pose, and every one of you should have the pose file FV203 attention. So I will just use this and I will say, okay. And I will bring this down like this. Okay. If we have done this, then we can save this again. I will go to File, Save As, Project, but now I will call this, I just clicked here to get the name copied automatically, but I will call this F, main outfit optimized. And save. And now we want to do this again. I will delete the female avatar. I will go into our folder with the avatars, and I want to load in the KV1.1B mannequin. So it's a boy. Here he is, a lot shorter, of course. And then we want to come over here and say auto fitting again. Dialog box comes up. You have nothing to change here. Say OK. Now we wait for it to drape. There we go. So we can see already, like by the 2x reduction, that we have a little bit of issues here with the hem not being correctly, or it's a little tangled up and so forth. So I said it's just easy optimization. It's not perfect. So if you have to make it perfect, then you better work on it with actual grading. But I just wanted to show you a quick way to do this. Then again, to our library, to avatars, to kids, to pose, and then here again we have an attention pose, 03 attention A, double click, pose only, maintain avatar size, align bottom to ground, yes. Leave, or let the arms come down, close the library, and then I want to again save this, save as project, and now I will take the name again, but now I want to name it K, main outfit optimized, and then say save. So far, so good. I don't know what you're doing. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Andra, you will be able to watch this again later because this will be recorded, and after the session, this will be automatically sent out to you from Demio. All right. Cool. So now that we have saved it, we can open up a new project and now finally start to assemble the room and the whole garments. So the first thing I want to do is I want to come to our project folder, go to the room, go in our folder where we save the room as OBJ, and I want to drag and drop the first element inside, which is the showroom project.obj. So project. here is the dialog box that comes up. We will say open. We can leave it at avatar, that's fine. The scale we set to millimeter when we exported it. We don't need any arrangement points or fitting suit. It will just act as an avatar, but it's not actually an avatar as you're used to. So we can turn this off, nothing to change here. And we can say, okay. There we go. It might be a little bit difficult, so I just pressed 2 on my keyboard. And then if you rotate around, it becomes a little bit easier to find the project here inside. Don't worry about the little, I don't know, ant wars distortion effect here. The further I go away from it, the worse it becomes. The closer you go in, the less it becomes until it's completely gone. So this is just like a graphical display thing. But if you render it later and so on, this is not a problem anymore. So don't worry about it. Okay. And now we also want to bring in our showroom ceiling. So showroom ceiling.obj. Don't confuse it with the .mtl file. So ceiling.obj, we want to add this in. But of course, in this case, we don't want to say open, but we want to change this to add. Leave everything as it is. And then we say, okay. So now we have our ceiling, but we can actually click on the ceiling and open this up like a box. I just clicked here on these arrows, and I will just open it up like a little toy box, or like a what is it, like a puppet house? Not puppet. Yeah, you know what I mean. Because I tried this before with the ceiling also closed, and then it was really hard to navigate inside of the room. And then I exported it separate, and now the navigation here is a lot easier. So we can now start to bring in the main outfit garments that we just optimized. So I will go again to my project folder where I saved them in garments, and I will bit after bit bring in all my assets here. I will start with my M outfit, bring it in. We want to add this, don't want to open this. And we can leave the render properties off, but we want to have the avatar. Okay, and then we can say, okay, wait until it loads. And here it is. So a little problem in CLO that you might have seen before is now that I have this loaded in and I have my gizmo here showing, so this thing is called the gizmo. And if I move this around, I'm not moving around the avatar with it. So this is a little problematic, I know this, but this is, it's so far not possible to move the avatar after you placed it once, but we can use a little trick. And that is, I will first of all move the garment here next to the pedestal in the area. And now I want to come to my project folder and add in the same avatar again. And that is the MV 2.1 mannequin in our avatars folder. I want to bring it in. No, I don't want to save this file yet. And here, very important that you say add again, not open. And now if I say okay, it's even able to take, for some files, I noticed, the pose file. So we will change this from maintain current size to open size and pose from garment file. And we can say okay. Now it's a little bit zoomed out, but if I zoom in again, now you see that I have an avatar inside and the gizmo. And if I now move the gizmo, then I can change the avatar. So this is only possible if you add in a second avatar. So with this said, I will bring my avatar here in the middle. And then I want to turn him and move him around in this 3D space until his foot is a little bit like on this little stand here. And it doesn't need to be perfect, it's just to demonstrate, of course. So I just move this here. maybe I need to turn him a little bit. He's a bit, yeah, like this. Put inside, okay. And I can already delete the first avatar here because I don't need it anymore. So I will just press delete on my keyboard. And now I have to manually move my garments on top of my avatar again, which is a little bit of work, I know, but the only way to get our garments again through the avatar. I'm avoiding to simulate anything in the scene because, I don't know, it might give us problems, especially when we also add the avatar, other garments that I prepared. So the file becomes heavier, again, not like before, 1.4 million triangles. But yeah, this is why I want to just move it here. And it's, of course, depending on the whole scene. The story that I built here is quite big, I know. Just to show you like what's possible. But yeah, so I did this like 10 times yesterday, so I'm already quite good in moving the garment here around. That's good enough for me. It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm just making sure that like the legs are not sticking out of the pants here, or like the scuba leggings, and the arms are inside and so on. So yeah, this is perfect for me. Actually, I will move the garments a little bit up because the other garments will also be here in the 2D scene, in the 2D window. So this done, we can work on the other garments. So next I will do the F main outfit optimized, so the female one is correct, yeah. Bring it in, add, turn off render properties, same procedure as before. Here it is. I will move my garment in the area where I want to place it, just like this. Same problem as before. I cannot move the avatar anymore. So I can delete it because I already have one in. Go to the project folder, to avatars, and then go to FV2 mannequin, bring it in. No, I don't want to save. Yes, I want to add. And if we are lucky, we can open the size and post from the garment file again. We say, okay, there we go. And only after I added it in directly, there's the gizmo. If I would click somewhere else, the gizmo would be gone and you cannot get it back. So then you have to delete the avatar and bring it in again so you can see the gizmo. That's how it works. So turn my avatar, bring her up. Let's zoom in a little bit. Wall is in my way. And place her again with her foot on the little stand here. A little bit up. Okay. Turn her again a little bit. Okay. Then I take my garment, put it here a little bit, and then do the same procedure again, overlaying it over my female avatar as good as possible. Just like this, and then like this. You cannot follow, it's completely fine. You can do it later. Or you're just watching, whatever you want to do. Okay, scuba pants good. Yes, no legs sticking out, looks good. Okay, one last time. It's a little bit of fiddling around, but I just wanted to show like how I prepared this room. The other garments will be added automatically, so you don't have to do anything. K main outfit optimized, the kit. We want to add, turn off the render properties, wait for it to load. There it is. Move my garment in the correct direction. Delete the avatar. Go to my project folder, avatars, KV1 mannequin. Don't want to save, add it in, So, okay, and in this case, don't ask me why. Maybe because it's the kid's avatar, it's not asking for the pose file if I want to keep it. So we have to do it a little bit manually, which is also okay. So we want to turn it, put it up, check this, place it again with the foot on the stand. Okay, I want to also move my garment here to the side, to the window, and move my outfit. Turn it, move it up. It's a bit too high. Back. Now you can also really good, because the leggings are skin tight, you can really look for the location of the pants here. So if no white leg is sticking out anymore, then you know that the garment is in the right position. But I think it's a little bit far away from the neck here. Let's check with the legs. Yeah, looks good. Okay, nothing is sticking out. So how do we get his arms in again? I will come to his joins. This is over here in avatar display, and it's called show avatar joins. You've known this before. This is how you can make your own poses, kind of. The shortcut is Shift X. This is what I use. Turns it on for all avatars, by the way. Then I want to come to his arms here. And I always call this little one here the gingerbread man. It's for the symmetry. So if you are not hovering with your mouse, you can see that the limbs of the gingerbread man are gray. That means that it's deactivated. So we want to click on it, that it's activated. And now if I move here, you can see that both arms are moving. And now I want to bring in the arms so that it works a little bit better. I can see that my arm is sticking out here, which is not ideal. So there must have been a little mistake. But I think, yeah, it's fine. Deactivate the joint, Shift X, and I can quickly move this a little bit further. Or we just leave it like it is. It's fine for now. You know what I mean, and you know how to handle it. Okay, so that's basically it. Now, really important, before anything happens, I want to save the file. Go to Save As Project. Save it in the project folder, save it on the desktop. I save it on the desktop. I call it Showroom project again. But this time it's a Z project file, so a CLO project file. I'm not an OBJ. And save it to my desktop. So now I wait for it to save. Okay, check for the triangles, vertex count. We are 233. Again, already far away from 1.4 million. So last thing we want to do is, I prepared this for you already, bring in the other garments. This is located in the project folder in garments, and the file is called all garments, all additional garments, sorry. And I want to drag and drop the project file inside. Then it will ask me again, do you want to add it? I want to say, yes, I want to add it, and I want to turn off the render properties again. The scene props I can leave, and I can say, okay. And fingers crossed, if everything worked as planned, then we don't have to do anything. And all the garments are there inside automatically. It's a lot of garments. Shoes, sunglasses, folded garments, swimwear on other avatars, and some hanging garments on the clothing rack on the left side, and also 2 chairs and a plant. Takes a while. So these additional garments I optimized before, put them all inside, the same as I did with the main outfit. I didn't do the auto fitting with these, but I did the optimization with Everywear the same. So it just boiled down to only a third of the original size. For the compromise of quality, yes, but for this virtual showroom, it should be okay. Is it done? No, I don't think so. Still working. Hey, there we go. So then, yeah, that's okay. And because I saved it like this, you can see that sunglasses are here that are, by the way, also pattern pieces and that I have frozen, so I can move them around. Here on the rack, we have the hangers and the single garments, also swimwear. And in our shelf, we have shoes. Where am I? Here. Shoes, folded garments, and swimwear. And by the way, if you see something like strengthened or frozen, you've seen like it becomes orange or light blue. If you didn't know this, you can turn this off without unfreezing or unstrengthening. You can just, like in an empty space in your workroom, right click, go to show hide color, and then you can hide specific things, but I want to say hide all. And then if I go back to my, my sunglasses, you can see that it is frozen, but it's not visible. So it is the original color. Okay, so far so good. Everything is inside. The only thing that we need to take care of when we saved our file as an OBJ, it's that it gets rid of all the material settings that we have set before. So if I now click on the mirror, and if I come to my property editor, you can see that it turned it back to fabric matte. So with the mirror, you can click on, and then we can change it to metal. If we scroll down, you can see that the reflection is already set to 10, the intensity to 100, the metatiness to 100. The roughness I want to actually set down from 10 to 5. And now we want to do almost the same with the lamp material, because the lamps actually I set for the material type to light, which is only visible in the render, not like the metal, but with light. So I will set this to light and just leave it like it is. That's the only thing that we have to do. And now we are basically done. We can close the lid. So I will click on my ceiling and close my room. That's good enough. And then I want to save my project again by hitting Control S. You can also go to File and Save. So everything is secured. It might take a while. In the meantime, I can look at you. Okay. And you can see here also in the left-hand corner, in total now with everything added inside that we need, we have 531,000 compared to 1.4 million. This is a difference of sort of like a third of the complete size of it beforehand. But we needed to do it separate, because if we would have done the separate, the optimization in the big file, things would have been super slow. So it's better to take things apart piece by piece, do the optimization, and then bring the optimized parts back together. Okay. Now we can concentrate on the rendering part of it. So if we come up here and we go to render, then our rendering window comes up. So far we don't have to do anything. You can click on the image properties, and up here there's a little folder icon next to the saving icon that you can click on, because I prepared the image properties for you already. So it's just here. Double click on it so it loads it. So this should actually be 4096. So this would be the correct setting, and I can show you why I did this. Because if we go to our CLO-SET, this is already taking things a little bit earlier, and we go to the virtual showroom. I just quickly wanted to show you something before we continue. The images that we will add here for the virtual showroom should be 16 by 9 in format, and files must be less than 8000 by 4096 pixels and a size of each image of 100 megabytes maximum. So this is what I'm trying to set up here in CLO. So I went with the highest resolution, so that's what I put it in. Otherwise, nothing has changed. I turned on the transparency, but this is up to you. And we are rendering out PNGs, so we can leave everything as it is. Of course, you can change the size of the images. The bigger, the better, of course. But yeah, depends on what kind of quality you want to achieve. Then we can go to the light settings. Same thing again, I prepared it for you. So click on the folder. You should be directed to your project folder, and inside, or in my case, it directs me here. And there's a file called light properties. And the last thing is that we go to our engine or render properties and load in the render properties file here. Nothing crazy. We have a used GPU. If you have a Mac, then this is not possible because it doesn't have a dedicated graphics card, or depending on which Mac, but normally. For Windows, you can choose your external GPU. And I put this to CPU supporting, so it's the fastest it could get. A little tip here with the noise threshold is when I tried this out yesterday, the 0.020 setting was a little bit too high, so it would need to be maybe 0.010 or 0.005 even, because the rendering still got a little bit of grain in it, which was visible and not so nice. So what I saved here is maybe not so good. So it would be better if we change this to 0.010 or something. So yeah, that was basically it for these settings. And now comes the most important part, and that is to set the camera. Because what we need to achieve, you can see it here already, is, oh yeah, okay. I did it here before, but we need to create a 360 render, as you can see. And now this is possible in CLO, and I can show you how. You go to the camera properties, and you can change the lens type here from default to panorama. So this is the most crucial step for this. You change this to panorama, you can see that the 3D window is changing, so the view is a little bit different. Now everything shows wired. I don't know why, but it's fine. You can come to your settings here on the left-hand side and just put this back to textured surface, and you can see it as normal before. So what we are now trying to do is we need to find this spot kind of where we are standing on. So like the standing position. And there's not really a rule on where you should do this, but you can try this out a little bit. So I hope this works and you can still see what I'm doing and it's not stuttering so much now. I will just quickly start the interactive render. You don't have to do this, you can just watch me. Maybe that's better. I show you what's going on. You know what, for this sake, just to show you, I will just lower the image size so the interactive render is a little bit faster. Takes a while. But it should be a little bit faster than the 8000 by 4000 resolution. Sorry, accidentally hit my spacebar. So can you see something? Yeah, there's something happening. Should almost be there. The problem is that I'm turning on the render and streaming or like sharing the screen at the same time, and this is normally quite heavy for computers. So yeah, now you can see what's happening here. So it's bending the image around you, kind of 360. So it is a little bit difficult to point out like where am I standing. So it's a little bit hard. What I always do is I turn on this this grid so I can see like kind of the position of the image and so on. So I will just find a spot where like me standing in this room would be. That's not a general rule, so maybe you should try it out a little bit. But we can see here that our lamps are glowing. I put some lamps in here that are shining into the scene. We have the outside view and so on. So I will not render this right now. I just wanted to see what's going on, but I prepared these renders for you. So I took one from this position, yeah, and then I went to this side, turned around, zoomed out a little bit, and then took another rendering from this side. So I'm staying, these are like the standing position where you want to be positioned in the room later. And then we can, when we now prepare the room after this, we can say like, we can put in navigation points. And if you click on the points, then we get to these positions in the room. So the more positions you have, so you need for one position, 360 rendering. So if you want to be closer to the shelf, then you, I don't know, need to position yourself here. So you can then turn around. Huh? I think you get my point. Okay. So I will close the render here. And I will also close my project just to speed things up. And now comes the last part of it. So I created the renderings already. I can show you here in the folder, project folder. It's in the folder called renderings. So I did exactly what I just explained to you. So I rendered out two positions here. Here, actually, I didn't set the mirror to roughness 5, but roughness 10, so it looks a little bit blurred. So one, this position, and then from the other side of the room. And now we want to put this together in CLO-SET. So next step is that we are here in CLO-SET. This is my CLO-SET account. And I have one workroom. And here in the workroom, actually, what I did is I used all the garments, the single garments here, the project files, and just drag and drop this inside of my workroom. Hopefully you have a CLO-SET account. Otherwise, yeah, you can log in, but if not, you can also just watch and then rewatch, as I said before. So here are all the single garments inside. And what I want to do from here is I want to come over here and come to my assortment rooms. Yeah. So for this, I created an assortment room and I called it a virtual showroom demo. So here's already one item inside. So everything that we want to use later as media in the room, we need to put here. So if I go back to my workroom, here's everything that I downloaded or uploaded, sorry. Click here. Up here, I say select all. And then here it said assortment. I will open up my Daniel brand from the Daniel company, and I will add this to my virtual showroom demo. And then I will say next, and set successful. Then I go back to my assortment room, virtual showroom, and now all the things that I want to add in my scene later, or link to my scene, I have to say, are now added to my assortment room. And in my assortment room, here on the top, it says virtual showroom. This is the way you can access this virtual showroom. I will click on it and I will say edit. And this is then where it took me. Because I added this already, normally you have like some default rooms here that you can choose from that have been added there just to demonstrate how it's working. So I can, oh, it's raining like crazy here today. So basically you click on add space, then either you click choose file or you can drag and drop this in. So you go to your project folder, renderings, and I will do this now only with the first image because the second one is already inside. You have to do both. Now it's here. And the files are also 8,000 by 10,000. Here, if I highlight it, you can see the image is 75 megabytes big, so less than 100, which is perfect. And when I have added my two renderings, then I can say OK. And now I can see them here. I can go, oh, it's a bit of loading. So one image and the other image. And now I can customize this virtual showroom a little bit more. So I can connect different things to my showroom or to my rendering, I have to say, right? If it's not fitting, like from the position, you're too low and you are, yeah, then you have to probably do the render again. So it fits, or you want to add more positions, or yeah. So now I want to click here on the plus sign, add content. And what I want to add to this rendering is a navigation point. Click on it, this comes up, and I will name this door side. And now it asks me to select the space, and I will select the first one. So like in this position that I uploaded here. And here you can change the color of the arrow here. And also I want to have it like this. And then here on the screen, you can move this arrow around. You can change the opacity and so on, but I want it to be visible. So I will just place it here. And if this is then done, then I can say save. So now I need to add this also to the other side, because if I'm standing here, of course, I want to be navigated to this side. So I will do the same thing again. Navigation, I will name this mirror side. Now select the other space that I uploaded. Okay, change the arrow again, move it a little bit here next to my changing room, and then I would say save. Okay. Be sure that you, when you do changes to this virtual showroom, that you save it. Let me just quickly do this. Successfully saved. Okay. And if I want to test this out, I can go to preview. And this now shows me the showroom that I created here. And we say start. And now you can see my navigation point here on the floor. If I click on it, it loads and loads the other space. And now I'm on the other side. So you can set this up now with multiple views from multiple angles in the room and so on. So hopefully, yeah, you know now how this works. But you can not only add navigation points, but let me go to the other side here and show you as an example what to do with the stuff that we added to the assortment room, because we also can add 3D content and 2D content to this scene. So I will click on 3D content. And now from the stuff that I added to assortment rooms, I can drag and drop, for example, the swimwear outfit here, and it adds a point that I can again move around. So when I preview this again, start, I have to go to the other position here. And now I click on this point. It brings me directly to the CLO-SET 3D viewer. I can move around here with my right mouse button clicked. And if I then, I can normally, I don't know if maybe it's not working in the preview, but normally then you can click on the project and it brings you to the CLO-SET project for this single file. And yeah, people can then view this in a 3D viewer, this content. So yeah, this is basically what you can do. You can add also other content. It's a lot of stuff that you can upload here that you maybe want to share as well. You can share, you can put in a link, you can name it, you can change the color, you can say what it is, the size of it. 2D content I said already, like an image or something like this, or yeah, probably nice if you search for this a little bit for yourself and find out like what the possibilities are. Here you can see a content page and so on. But yeah, this is basically it from start to finish. I need to shorten the process a little bit, of course, so everything is speeded up. I already surpassed the 4 p.m. mark, I know, by 10 minutes. But yeah, hopefully you learned a lot. And I will now see in the chat what is going on. I will just quickly stop sharing. And yeah, let me know if you have questions. Maybe my colleague Simon here, that is also in the chat, can pick out some questions maybe that are interesting. How many hours do you estimate this took you to create? Simon was laughing. So creating the room, of course, it took me a little bit longer because I came up with it by myself. Like I was searching for inspiration pictures before and then searching for textures. And like, it's a little bit of a back and forth process. But if you directly know, like, I want to build this store and I need this and this, then of course, this is a little bit easier. So the room was one thing, and then it was, I wanted to fill it with a lot of garments. So it actually looks like an actual clothing store, like a surf shop. And this then, for me, it was like more ideas like, oh, should I add like a surfboard? Should I add this? And like, do I need like, I don't know, candles and plates or like pictures on the wall and stuff? So Charlotte and Eric, the recording is sent to you automatically at the end of the session. The rooms, sorry, I didn't end the question or the answer. In total, I think if I count like actual working hours without any side projects, I think it took me like 1-2 weeks. This will, on this laptop, yeah. Rooms are not available yet, but it's a good idea. Let's see, like so far, not so many people have used this virtual showroom because they didn't know how. That's why we created the skill up. Hopefully now it is. And like if the request for these rooms is like super big, maybe we can also forward it internally that we create rooms that you can like bases or something that you can like build on top of. So far, you have to do it yourself. Is there a skill up demo for creating the showroom? No, not yet. But I mean, you have my files. I shared everything with you, so you can also take the room and like use it for something else. You're free to use it. It's my gift to you. What else? For the others, there's another virtual showroom closet seminar. You can also post the link here. There is. Possibly you can also have a look at our, sorry, let me quickly share my screen again. Just like this. On our YouTube channel, I think if you put in virtual showroom, yeah, there is also another link that is described by our colleague Jim, that also goes through how to add content. Wait, I can also post the link in the chat if you want to have a look. Just like this. And also there's another dedicated video to the Everywear plugin if you are into this and you're working on the more gaming related side. Cloud. Okay. This is the Everyone one. But yeah. Okay. Can we import rooms from 3D Files website? Yes, you can also do that. I also did this before, like if I don't have time to build something or I need something complicated, a wheelchair or I don't know, a car or something, or a phone or something. Of course, you can find marketplaces that are specialized in like 3D assets, and you can bring them into CLO. That's no problem at all. And then also like the same procedure as I did here with like OBJs, for example, or FBX. Then you can add the garments in later that come from CLO. Do you use any additional software to enhance the quality of the image? In this case, I didn't. You have, of course, possibilities to use the AI Avatar Studio in CLO. That is still quite new. You can use enhancement sites like crea.ai, for example. Let me write it down here for you. That's an AI image enhancement website that you can use, but there's so much stuff outside, a lot of with AI nowadays as well. You can also take the whole project out, export it again as an FBX or something, render it, I don't know, in Unreal Engine, you can render it in Blender, you can, yeah, do whatever you want. It's all possible. Do you think these digital showrooms will be available to be accessed by Apple VR glasses? That's an interesting question. I would love to try this out. Unfortunately, we don't have any glasses in the office, or not that I know of, or in the offices worldwide. But I think that's it's a bit difficult question because I think it was spatial videos. Yeah, but okay, spatial videos is something else than 3D files. I don't know. I haven't tried it out. I would love to. Can you use the function select avatar and garment to move things around, I believe is what you mean. I think it's not possible because the gizmo is not coming up. But we know this and it's a feature request and we're working on it. This was an amazing session. Thank you so much. Inspirational. Yeah. Is it possible to create virtual showrooms for free? Good question. You are able to create a free CLO-SET account. You need a CLO-SET account to create these virtual showrooms. You can upload stuff, but I think it's a little bit limited to a certain point, but better check it yourself. It's CLO-SET.com, and somewhere should be like the pricing options. Yeah, exactly. Simon already entered. Yeah, okay. Thank you so much. Quite interesting to talk with the chat without hearing anyone. I hope you learned a lot and you can watch this recording again. Sorry if I couldn't answer every question that you had. I was focused on presenting. But hopefully Simon answered a lot of your questions. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Working on the next one. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.